Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She Snap? This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthiest of casuals. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
No big deal. Woo!
Oh yeah, he's here, baby. And we got a nice episode for you boys and girls today. We got no guests because I'm working overnights. No big deal's working during the days. We have like very small window of time where we can make this happen, and don't want to subject our guests to our stupid, crazy schedules. So we're just gonna roll solo here, and hopefully we can put up with each other for the amount of time that this podcast lasts. So we got a nice episode. New season starting today, or I guess a couple days ago. We're going to get into, Barron Zemo, what he's been going on, Red Hulk taking over the meta. We're going to talk about our Infinity conquests from the end of last season, how we grinded through that. And we're going to start off with the OTAs, actually, because I haven't even read them because I was in meetings all day. Let's get it! TheKiD! No big deal. How the hell are you, my man? How are you?
Cracking, kid. I'm doing well. I'm fired up. We got live react OTAs. Usually it's me having to do the live react. Yeah. So I'm happy we got you now. Gonna get some emotions going. It's a good OTA change. I think you're gonna like it. I'm pumped for you. But it's been good, man. Marvel Snap's in a good spot now. But my God, we got a big red elephant in the room right now. Completely take it over the meta.
Oh my God. We're going to talk about him after, because we start talking about him, then the OTAs are going to be spoiled. So yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I know I don't want to even start talking about him now, but let's just talk about our Infinity conquests. What you got an Infinity border last month?
Yeah. No, I missed it last month, but I got it. Yeah, 2 months ago I missed it, but this past month I got it. So I'm pumped about that. I had a pretty crazy grind with discard. I think 4 of the matches that I played, I opened up losing 4 cubes. So just every single match I would play and then just lose the first match for 4 cubes. God. They snap. I'm like, well, my hand seems decent. Like, I'll stay in, and it happened like 4 out of 5 times where I just started -4 at every single match. So it's like I was just like Rocky, I was in there just like gonna come from behind like every single time. Like, all right, we're gonna stay in it. We're gonna grind it out. A couple of them I got down to the last 2, but it was good. I mean, I just played, just standard meta discard deck. I already burned my first 3 keys using cool spicy decks, and just I played like a Galactus, a Junk. I used 4 tickets. And so I got there on the 4th ticket, but the Galactus Junk decks just weren't getting me there. But I had a lot of fun. So it was a good grind, and I got Pixel Morbius Infinite Border. And it looks fucking fantastic. I love it. I've been using it all season.
Yeah, I know you showed it to me. It's great. You showed me the screenshot. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. Your Pixel Border collections, becoming pretty damn good. I kind of love it, actually. It's great.
Yeah, maybe I should do all pixels on the avatar. Not use any playing, but just all avatar pixels. Yeah,
they're hilarious. Yeah, so I did some late game heroics again, morning of the Tuesday. I had 2 Infinity tickets. I actually didn't even. I was actually really worried because I needed to make it pretty deep in at least one of them to get the variant, the Phoenix Force Captain America variant. Because I played like no Conquest the entire season.
Yeah, just to buy 9 things in the shop, you're short. Yeah,
I was like 4 or 5 off, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta play. I'm like, whatever, I'll just grind like silver and stuff. Worst comes to worst. So my first Infinity round, I'm just playing the Phoenix Force deck, right? And I'm facing a straight Guardians deck because the Guardians got buffed, right? It's like Goliath. It's kind of like a Guardian lockdown kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And we're actually, going back and forth trading. And then we get to, what is our final game. This is like game 1, round 1, round 1 of the Infinity Conquest. Mm-hmm. And sorry.
Luna doesn't like the Guardians.
I know. Oh my God. And then so I'm gonna have to shut the door. And then so we have 4 cubes each, and then so he doesn't really have any tech that can handle like my Human Torch Taskmaster line. Mm-hmm. So I draw the net right away. Mm-hmm. I snap, and then I think we're in high stakes at this point. So it's 4 cube. I snap on turn 1 because I had like Human Torch, Phoenix Force, and a destroy card.
Mhm.
And then so I just snap because I'm like, I have the whole game to draw a Taskmaster, and hopefully 75% of the time I will.
You basically got one lane one too, and one of the lanes is already won basically.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And then
one more lane.
and keep in mind he's playing a Guardians deck. Okay.
Yeah.
Second location comes up, some inconsequential bullshit. I draw a Taskmaster, so I'm like, oh, it's over. It's Jover. It's fine. I'm feeling great about myself. Third location comes up, and so we're both in 4 cubes each. It's over, right? Yeah. Third location comes in, World Ship.
Oh God! I thought you were gonna say Ego.
I wish it was Ego. World Ship. It's a Guardians
that's not
deck.
Good for that deck.
Anytime I play, he's just his cards gain a lot of power.
Yeah.
So there was nothing I could do. So I lost that one.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this is like the worst possible. And like, I would have won.
Like it's like a global Professor X. Like it just hard counters your deck. You can't. Your whole deck is based on moving cards, and now there's nowhere to move. One location.
Yeah, and his whole deck is based on guess where you're going to play your cards, and they get more power.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I don't have like Shang or anything in this deck, so yeah. Anyways, that was the sad round one. My Infinity ticket, and then number 2. Man, I don't know. It just was so easy. The stars just aligned and just rolled. I rolled through all 5 games and got the Phoenix Force, the little Phoenix Infinity border. It was awesome. A lot of multiple men everywhere. I can't believe like how smoothly it went. It was just like I just kept going and going and going and going. There was one close matchup with a Mockingbird Patriot deck. I don't think it was a Patriot Surfer. I think it was just straight Patriot, Mockingbird and stuff. And they could output a ton of power. Like I almost needed to nut draw a lot of the time to try and win. Or I needed to get an early Deadpool with like Forge early in order to have a chance. But yeah, there was one where like I predicted his Goliath, and I think Limbo was in there, and so like I Nico'd at the end of turn 6, and the Nico happened to be move, and then it like then I played Phoenix Force on 7, and it moved, and then I Doctor Strange into their lane, and then that was like to win the whole match, everything, and it was like,
geez.
And he played the Goliath like where he thought I was gonna play, and it was like it was great.
You juked him. You juked the Goliath.
Yeah, juked him, and then I don't know. It was just like then like beat Galactus deck, like all the decks. Yeah, beat a lot of decks. The Thanos deck, it was great. But yeah, so that was my late game heroics, and then I was like, oh, nice, all right, so it was good, and I actually ended up getting the Phoenix Force Captain America variant, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, yeah. Infinite gives you a lot of tokens or whatever to buy the stuff in the shop.
Yeah. I know some people get it like right away the first week, but like
I love
have enough tokens.
I'll say I love that Patriot Mockingbird deck. I played that in Snap Judge League in round 2 there. I got the dub against the big bad Thanos deck, so that's an awesome deck. I didn't play Goliath in mine though. I was playing Onslaught. I don't know if that guy you were playing was playing Onslaught.
I don't think so. Not that I remember.
I love Onslaught in that deck. You just pump up your Mysterio clones and just fuck with their head, and it's a great time.
yeah. It's just wild just seeing like a 0-9 come down with like other stuff, and you're like, oh shit, like
yeah. He goes.
So it's like a consideration. You're like, Jesus.
Yeah. So Mysterio is a 0-9. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the Infinity Conquest was pretty good. I was pretty happy about it. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to get a border, but it was great. Fun. It was fun time in the morning, and then the new season came out right after that, and it was like it was a good day. It was a good day for Snap. It was fun.
Yeah, that's great. How have your Spotlight key? Have you been rolling keys? Have you been just burning tokens for the new cards? Because I know you pulled War Machine recently, but
yeah. What
have you been doing for War Machine and for Red Hulk? Have you been buying or rolling or what?
Okay, so the last 2 I didn't do anything. So for Cannonball, I didn't buy or roll. For War Machine, I didn't buy or roll. And then for Red Hulk, I was like, I'll just roll because, I have Echo and Sebastian Shaw, but I'm like, those are some cool variants. If I get them, I'll be pretty happy about it. And, I was like, that's what I'll do. I'll just roll Spotlights. And so I rolled Spotlight. First one was the tokens, but it wasn't tokens because it was War Machine.
Yeah.
I got so fucking lucky.
That's
like
great.
To be like, that is like ridiculously lucky because like, what it checks for first is like when you get like the token one, It's like there's a 33% chance it'll be a Series 5 card and a 66% chance that it'll be a Series 4 card.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the 33% roll for it to be a Series 5 card for me. And then of all the Series 5 cards, which they're all fucking Series 5 now, it was like one of the two that I didn't have. It just ended up being War Machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh shit, I was pretty fucking hyped about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the Sebastian Shaw variant, and then I got Red Hulk on 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of really wanted the Echo variant because that's a really, really beautiful variant. It almost looks like Peach Momoko a little bit, but it's not.
Yeah, I could see if you get a good split on that one, it's gonna look like really sick.
I know. I was even debating, like, I guess I still have the rest of the week, but I was even debating, like, all right, do I choose my last, like, one more key to get that variant? But I don't really care about Echo variants too much, even though it is really, really nice.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what about you?
Well, I'm happy you described the odds for rolling.
Oh, it's wild.
For converting a token roll into a freaking Series 5 card. So I went into the War Machine rolls. I mean, we didn't really talk about this last week, but I had missing from my collection was Kang, Cannonball, and Supergiant. So those are, if I had those three, I'd be collection complete going into the War Machine. So, and I was pretty close to out of tokens at that point. I almost had 0. I think I'm up to like 9K now. But at that time I was like 2 or 3K tokens or something. So,
and again, just to clarify, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You're basically season pass only with the occasional bundle, and maybe every couple months you buy a bundle.
Yeah, like this year I bought the Juggernaut bundle, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which was like a $99 Canadian bundle. So not like it was a cheap one, but it was good. It was really good value. So I bought that. But other than that, I've only bought a season pass.
Yeah. And you're typically like, you will buy like one bundle, and usually you only buy like a $30 bundle or something every 3 months or something.
Yeah. Whatever one is good value, I just get it. I don't care about the variants. If it has good progression value, even these days, I just ignore gold. Like, so if it's just a lot of credits or tokens for little money, I pull the trig. And if I just pull the trigger recently and there's another good value, I just won't buy it, just because I don't want to spend too much money on the game. But it's like we've talked about this. I don't think the monetization is too bad once you get close to collection complete. It's the grind once you get into Series 3. That's, I think a big problem still in Marvel Snap, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm rolling for War Machine. I had 7 spotlight keys or something like that. So I had to use all 4 freaking keys to get War Machine, which I thought was going to be a cool, good card. That was like maybe meta defining, like, oh, play him with Zabu, like, it ends up being like not even that good of a card. But on one of my rolls, I got Supergiant on one of my rolls. So I got the token roll, and that turned into Supergiant. So I mean, that's 4 tokens for 2 Series 5 cards that I don't own. I'll take that all day, So,
yeah, that's pretty sick, actually. Because I had never gotten a new card off that that thing ever. Even early on when I wasn't collection complete or near collection complete.
Yeah.
So to see a War Machine there, I was like, holy shit! Like the odds are ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels like it's always 1K tokens, like every time, right? It's like every freaking time, right? But yeah, and then Red Hulk I got in 2 rolls. I got 1K tokens and then Red Hulk on the second roll. So hey man, that's 6 keys, 3 Series 5 cards. I feel good. With RNG. It's been a little rough to me in the past, but I feel like I feel pretty good about it right now. 5 keys or 6 keys, 5 or 3 Series 5 cards. We take those, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And Red Hulk, I'm sure you're pretty happy with having that card right now, which we'll get into later.
It's a mandatory card. Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's talk about the OTAs, because I haven't seen these OTAs. I'm excited. You're like, don't look at it. You'll react to it live. I'm like, God damn it! I gotta wait a couple hours.
We were close. We were close to the pod. Just for people listening, we record on Thursday, and today we're recording like 5:30 Eastern on Thursday. So like the OTAs just happened like an hour ago, basically. So the kid hasn't seen any of them. I think he's glanced and saw a little bit, but I just want to say overall macro, I'm really happy about these OTAs. I'm not spoiling anything, but I already said this to kid in the DM. I love that we got 6 changes and there's 3 buffs and 3 nerfs. There's no side grade bullshit. Every week I feel like I'm coming on here tilting about the stupid side grade stuff, and I've gone through all the examples. We talked about it again last week with Tucker, and so I don't want to bore you guys with that, but it's a new day, and I think they did a great job overall in the OTAs. So I'm pumped, man. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. So it might be a little more reading than normal because I haven't even looked at these, and I want to,
Yeah.
at least process it a little bit. I see
Digest it a bit.
Thanos right away. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. It wasn't anything, that we didn't think was going to happen. We thought Thanos was going to do this. So, what do you say? We've got a solid handful of high impact changes to the metagame coming between this OTA and our next patch. Ooh. Oh, okay. So their next patch, they're going to have a bunch.
I didn't read that part. Yeah. Oh, we got a big banger patch coming too. Let's go.
Pull out your cauldrons. It's time to brew.
True.
Nice.
True.
All right.
But make sure you include Red Hulk in your brew.
Yeah, if he doesn't get nuked.
Yeah. You brew with 11 card brews, but Red Hulk's auto included.
So Thanos, at the start of the game, he was old. We knew what he was before. The new one, he's still a 6'10", starts in your opening hand. Oh shit. And shuffles the 6 Infinity Stones into your deck. So he's kind of like, all right. So I'm assuming that when you starts in your opening hand, it's not like Agatha where you start with 5 cards. I'm assuming you start with 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's either Agatha or Quicksilver, right? And one's a lot better than the other one.
I'm assuming because they want to nerf him, it's going to be like Quicksilver.
I'm assuming that as well, but I haven't tested it. Obviously, I'm not going to play Thanos, So yeah.
Which is a pretty fucking significant nerf to this card.
Yeah, turning him into Quicksilver is a massive nerf.
Because even this is gonna sound bad to say, but even sometimes when he's 620, you don't end up playing him because you have better shit to do. So you usually don't even play Thanos. Even as a 610 in a Thanos deck is pitiful to play. You're kind of mad about it.
Yeah, if you happen to ramp into him with Time Stone before, okay, and that's your curve, and you played something on Hope, and you're doing this turn 5 Thanos, that's basically when you play him, right? You got nothing else to play. But yeah, you're right. He's a very low priority. So this is almost a brick that you open with by force. So huge nerf. But anyway, do you want to read the paragraph, kid?
So it is good, and I think it's not going to be like Agatha, because then why would they want to thin your deck more just to have you start with Thanos? That would make no sense for them to do that. Mm-hmm. Given the consistent and dominant performance of Thanos, additional changes were inevitable. Wow, I see what they did there. Yeah. This is the first stage of a larger range of adjustments we're going to make to Thanos and Infinity Stones package. Oh, they're going in hard more. Oh, yeah. Our goal is to focus more heavily on the Mad Titan, with the expectation that narrowing the overall flexibility of Thanos decks will reduce how often these decks take heavy advantage of powerful new cards aimed at other strategies, which makes sense. They got to do this because they can't release cards. You want them to release more cards like Mockingbird, but you don't want them to be 0/9s all the time in only a Thanos deck, right? Mm-hmm. This may be a more damaging change than you expect to the current builds, as Thanos has almost always claimed the highest win rate in the game when not drawn. Makes what sense. You said. That's what you don't want to draw him. Yeah, you're kind of pissed when you draw him. You would rather draw your other stuff.
Yeah, he's a borderline brick most of the time, honestly. Yeah. So,
good.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And honestly, just to the lore as well, right? It's Thanos is he fights all the Avengers, he's one of the most powerful characters in the whole Marvel universe, right? And then you never even play the freaking card himself, the actual Titan himself. It's no, it's actually the stones that are what you want to play. We're throwing pebbles on the ground, we're throwing colorful pebbles on the board, and that's what gives you your power, and then you use that power to play Blob and Magneto instead of Thanos, So I do like the idea of focus on the Mad Titan, make it so he's actually a core part to the strategy, right? If they, I don't know what they're going to do in the future. Maybe they give his actual body some kind of buff, maybe some Power Stone buff or something like that. But if that's the direction they're going, I think that's pretty dope, honestly. And it'd be cool to win a game just slamming a Thanos down, actually playing the Thanos,
Yeah, yeah, it'd be cool if the stones did stuff to him, and make him better or worse or whatever.
That sounds pretty sick, actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next one. Time Stone. Time Stone gets affected here again. They just got nerfed, but the nerf didn't really do too much shit, right? So it was a 1/1 on reveal. Draw a card and give it -1 cost. New 1/1 on reveal. Give Thanos -1 cost next turn. Draw a card. Oh, so it's doing shit to Thanos. That's great. Yeah, pour one out. For the audio listeners, no big deal. He's pouring water on his desk.
Pour one out for my boy Time Stone. This card sucks now.
This is just a cycle card at this point now.
Yeah, it says draw one basically.
I mean, but like this is cool if they have other changes with the stones. If the stones all affect Thanos in some way, and you
Yeah,
play them all, and then Thanos as the card gets OP by the end of it, the more stones you play, that's really really cool. Like
true.
you can play this on turn 4 and then play 5/10, right? Like
Mhm.
that's not horrible. And if you play it on Hope, you can still ramp into other stuff.
Yep.
So he gets. I like this a lot because it's it obviously is a huge fucking nerf to the time stone,
Mhm.
because now it's only affecting Thanos, a card you normally don't want to play.
Mhm.
But if they're kind of going on this theme of like the stones are all gonna affect Thanos in some way, which I think would be so cool.
Yeah.
Like you said, then you can just slam a big Papa T on turn 6 and win. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and to your point too, like if you're playing like a high Evo deck and your shocker hits Hulk or She Hulk or Infinite, for example, like one of the big cards are these days Red Hulk, obviously. Let's get Infinite out there, put Red Hulk in there now. But if he hits if Shocker hits one of those cards, it's a really big deal to have a five cost bomb, because that just means you can play two of them now in the game minimum, right? So you play your Thanos, and then you can just play Blob on the next turn. If you play Time Stone, Thanos on 5, Blob on 6, like that's really strong. So, yeah, I do like that as well, and it is cool. Like you can see they're kind of changing the idea of the archetype. But yeah, I mean this is a huge nerf, right? I mean, just think of Thanos deck now, just with these two changes, like they got pretty nuked here, right?
Yeah, even this is like really even the next turn is pretty fucking harsh if you ask me. Like
Yeah.
it's bad enough that it's only just Thanos, but like so you can't even cycle on turn 1.
Yeah.
Like this does nothing. This is only a cycle on turn 1.
Yeah.
Thanos only will be 5 for turn 2, then he goes back to a 6 cost on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I think the next turn's a little bit harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean they're just trying to nuke the archetype, which I don't blame them. So I don't mind it right now, but if they make more changes in the future, I would hope that the next turn is something that they get rid of. And I'm glad they're not getting rid of the draw card, because you need the cycles. Like it just got to make them have less power, like this, which is like shit power for the deck.
Mm-hmm.
But keep the draws, because you can't have an 18 card deck and then like not have cycle. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree for sure. Yeah, that's true. The next turn is pretty harsh. You have to hold Time Stone, or just accept that you're not playing the Thanos, but Thanos is starting in your hand and bricks you. So you're almost going to have a point where this deck's going to be like where you're pretty much always playing your Thanos, I think. Like, just because he starts in your hand, and Time Stone discounts him. So, like you said, if they start changing the other stones to affect him too, like, yeah, I mean, you're going to play Thanos basically every game, which, again, for the lore and just for, kind of hype is sick, right? Like, just every game, like, you're going to queue up into a Thanos player, and they're like, oh, shit, like, okay, I have to, like, beat Thanos in a lane or win the other 2 lanes, right? Because there's going to be, like, this 20 power Thanos every single game that comes down. And that's kind of sick, honestly, because, he's inevitable.
Yeah, like if the Soul Stone is like give Thanos the ability to minus every give Thanos ongoing -4 power to the lane. Yeah. Like it's all the abilities that the stones have, they give to like Thanos. Imagine you're dropping like a 6/20 Thanos who like -4 to everything in the lane, or like does wild shit. Like that's so cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this is a fucking nuke and a half. Like the next turn is the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, that's fucked up. Like it's literally, this card's a 1/1 brick, like that you got to just play and cycle if you draw it early. Like it sucks to draw the Time Stone early, which is like not something you ever thought I would say for Thanos.
Yeah, this has like a turn 4 card now, but sometimes you don't have the luxury of being able to play most of the time. You can't just hold it to 4. You have to play your draws. You get to the more draws, so you get to your actual cards. So
yeah, which again, like right now it's fine, because like he was on top for so long that it's nice to knock him down. And who knows? I think this will nerf him. To me, these Thanos changes, and there's no more, right? I see the next one's Meek, so I doubt there's any more Thanos
for now. Yeah.
So to me, I feel like these Thanos changes will be sufficient enough to knock him down to not the best deck in the entire game, but probably still close to the top, if not the best, but not like he could still be the best in the game, but not like way better than everything else. I think he'll still be competing for the top, but I don't think he's going to be far and above away. The best.
I'll be shocked if he's the best in the game after these changes. I mean, this time I think this time stone change is going to give him a timeout. You know, to
Yeah.
use a terrible pun.
Great
Yeah,
pun.
yeah. Again, I don't think it'll be a shit deck, but I think
No.
it'd be like a tier 2 kind of deck now, maybe.
Yeah, I think he still has the potential to be tier 1 just because he can do so much other shit. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, Mockingbird still works, right? You know,
Yeah.
Cold City and still in the deck, so you know who
Yes.
knows.
There are still broken cards that I'm assuming didn't
Yeah,
get changed here, since
the
you're saying that.
blob, like yeah.
All right, Meek. Meek taking some hits here. Is this card that big of a problem? I guess. When you discard a card, this gains +1 power and can move. That's the old one. He was a 1/1. Now he's a 1/0. So I just knocked 1 power off him.
Yep.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you think? No big deal. To me, this seems like not that big of a deal, but I don't know. I don't play a discard, so
Yeah, I'll sum up the paragraph for you because I was curious with this too. So basically, they said, you know, APOC was by far the best win rate card in discard before. So they hit APOC, they took 2 power off of him, and then once they did the APOC change, Meek surged into first place. So you know, and I just played this Meek discard deck to the infinite border as we talked about earlier. So yeah, I'm definitely familiar with this. I like this change. Like I said, to me, Proxima is the best card in the deck. I don't know if they're not allowing for their data to, like, you know, it has to be a minimum like 2 months or something, but or maybe it just, you know, I obviously don't have the numbers, but Proxima feels the best to me. But Meek is awesome. Meek was insane. Like the 1/1 Meek. This is still going to be a sick card. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
But you take 1 power off, and you take 2 power off APOC. So now in the last 2 OTAs, the discard deck, the list is basically the same, but it's 3 less power almost every time. So if you have Meek and APOC on the board, or you have Dracula Meek, you're -3 power where you would have been. So you straight up just take power off the best or second best deck in the game. I think that's really good. I think especially when you're nuking Thanos again. So it's like you hit Thanos again, you got to hit discard again, right? Because discard was still really good even with a 6 power APOC. That I
Yeah.
can vouch for.
Yeah, my only concern, I mean, I'm happy if discard's one of the best decks in the game, even though I never play discard. Like, it's a cool archetype that a lot of people have access to, and it's just it's just like a nice, easy deck to, not easy deck to play, but it is just like a nice deck to play. And it's kind of a cool deck. And it's never felt overtly oppressive to me ever. So I'm never mad playing against it. When they beat me, they beat me. When I beat them, I beat them. And it's not like they don't do really unfair, broken things that like you get really pissed off about. And it's just like they put power in lanes, and it's nice, and just I'm glad this won't nuke the archetype, because like, oh sure, take 1 power off, whatever. Meek's still really good. So instead of a 1/7, he's a 1/6 or whatever, and like that's still, you're playing 1 fucking 6, like relax, and that can move.
That can move. That can
Yeah,
move, right? So
yeah.
like that's the crazy part, because it's like vision, that so like it's pretty sick.
Yeah, like he's like by far and away like a way better Nightcrawler, like way better.
Yeah, way better. Yeah.
Like you're always gonna get him to at least 2, even if you draw him late. Like
Yeah, even if you don't MODOK, he's probably going to be like a 1/3 probably. If you play Corvus or something, and he's going to be a 3.
Yeah, because like Dracula, anything, right? Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
My only concern with these first 2 so far is that, I'm going to be a little selfish here, but my only concern is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that they haven't hit Destroy, and Destroy is a pretty damn good point slam deck right now. And not that I think Destroy needs a nerf, but if they're going to nerf all these decks, I'm worried that Destroy is going to go up in play and up in win rate. And then they're going to want to nerf Destroy, which means they're probably going to make Venom a 4/5, which is one of the changes they hinted at before, which fucks my Phoenix Force deck.
Well, comes back to Phoenix Force.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that Destroy doesn't just catapult up into because again, I really don't I don't mind Destroy and Discard, which are like, basic archetype kind of decks, being really, really good and top tier. Like that doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of cool because most people have access to most of the cards. I mean, if you don't have Null by now, then I don't know what you're doing, because he's been in about 40 spotlight caches so far. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's all I'm hoping doesn't happen with these. But
well, to your point, I mean, Destroy was really good even before this Meek change, before the APOC change. It was really good, and it's still really good. If anything, I think hitting Thanos as hard as they did might be a kind of shadow nerf to Destroy in a way, because these Destroy win rates are obviously propped up by the fact that half your games are against Thanos, and you have the card Killmonger, and they're taking out Kyera out of the deck these days. Like the last couple weeks of Thanos they don't have Kyera in there. They have like Hope, and they're so greedy, and it's these crazy like Hope Summers Thanos decks that just shitting out a bunch of massive cards, and they don't even need Kyera because they figure, well, I'm just playing 3 lanes, right? Whatever, who cares? You could Shang one of them, I still win the other 2. So I think Destroy matched up really good into that deck, and you're not going to see that too much now. So and a lot of these new decks coming out, I think, are going to have the card Armor in them, and maybe even Kyera, just based on the new cards that are coming out. Destroy's not getting too much support. Like, I don't think they're getting any support in the next couple of months, right? We've gone through the new cards. So, yeah, we'll see. I think Destroy will still be really good, to your point, Kid, but I don't know if it'll be, like, tier 1, like you have to play Destroy, like the way Thanos just was,
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not.
And I think,
only because I don't want them nerfing Venom. If they nerf other Destroy cards other than Venom and Carnage and Deadpool, then fine.
Mm-hmm. I think to your point on the discard too, discard's still a really good deck. This change does not make discard a bad deck. This Meek card's awesome. Apoc's still very good. And I think it's fair to say it's easy to play as well. You're saying, yeah, I don't know if it's easy to play. I think MODOK discard's an easy to play deck. All the lines are pretty much the same. You play one card at a time almost. And, it's like, where do you put your swarms and where do you move your Meek is like the skill in that deck.
Yeah.
So Meek does add a little bit of skill to the deck for sure, because there's a lot of mind games of where to move them. But it's like, yeah, where do you allocate your swarms in your Meek is the only skill in that deck. So that's not too much. So I think it's easy, but I still think it's really fun, even though it's easy. And I love me some discard deck. It's still going to be very good. And if I struggle in the next Infinity Conquest, I'm going to go right back to it.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, no, it's good. And I also like what you're saying too. Like, even a skill is like, if you have Proxima Midnight in your hand, like, and Meek's on the board, you can move Meek to a lane to make Proxima go to a lane like right before you play MODOK,
Mm-hmm.
And allocate power where you want
Mm-hmm.
too. Like, you can do that in some cases, which is kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm not mad about this change. And you as a discard player, if you're not mad about it, then I'm happy. Good.
No, I think they should have hit it was if they hit you take those 2 Thanos changes and you ignore the new cards that just came out, discard by far the best deck in the game. So, if we pretend Red Hulk doesn't exist for a second, and then just nerf the first 2 cards, right? The Time Stone and the Thanos turning into a Quicksilver. Like, discard is by far the best deck in the game at that point, in my opinion. So I'm happy they hit Meek at least to address it.
Yeah. Does Red Hulk?
Red Hulk did come out, so we'll see.
Does he go? Does he go in discard now?
What?
Does he go in discard now?
Well, that's true. Dracula hits him. That's that. Hey, he's not even vulnerable to Shang, right? You can use Dracula to hit the Red Hulk, and he stays in your hand longer. Like, let's go.
We'll talk about Red Hulk.
Let's take out APOC. Like, let's get APOC. APOC's a 6-power pathetic card now. Let's just put Red Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's great. Let's see. Crossbones. Oh wow, they buffed the bones. 4-8. Now he's a 4-10. Oh my god! Thank God, Jesus Christ! This poor card. Jesus, what is wrong? Praise be. Here we go. Crossbones. I'm pumped, dude. That's great. 4-8 to 4-10. Let's see what they say. There's been a lot of debate around which downside is stronger or weaker between Crossbones and Cull Obsidian. We've decided to let you all settle it in the streets.
Let's go.
We'll see you in the streets, baby. Either way, this is probably Cull's game to lose, just because there are multiple good decks where Cull already shines, but it'll be fun finding out. Plus, we'd like to add a little bit more support for Scar. This is great. I like this. Yeah. So they're debating between the downside. I thought when they were going to say the downside, I thought it was going to be a 4-9 to 4-10 conversation.
Shang, yeah, for Shang-Chi, yeah.
Not the you can only play this at locations where you're winning versus the 1-drop. I think the 1-drop's probably easier in my experience, but I mean, who knows? I think this is good. This is great.
They say that too. They said that in the description, right? They said it's probably Cull's game to lose. They're saying the same thing you just said, where it's probably easier for Culls, but not all decks have a bunch of 1-drops in them. So
Yep.
now for all those decks. And, if you have the card Zabu in your deck, you absolutely can consider playing the card Crossbones now, which is really sick because, we've been playing Marvel Snap over a year, both of us at this point, and this has never been a card. I mean, I played it a little bit because I was like on month 2 when Zabu came out, and Zabu was -2 cost, and Crossbones was only one of the only cards I had to pair with him, so I was playing it with like him and Jessica Jones, and that deck was actually pretty good because Zabu was just the most broken card of all time. So hey man, Crossbones is a card now, and we love it. Akira Nimbus, rejoice,
Yeah.
like the bones is back, baby.
I like this a lot. I'm happy they're buffing shit cards that because the problem is they're releasing all these broken fucking cards like 0-9, 4-10, and then you have a 4-8 with like a horrible condition to meet.
Yeah.
And it's like Jesus, 4-10 so much better now. Now I'm wondering if they're going to be like I wonder if there's going to be like a nice tempo Zabu decks that come out of this, with Scar, like they said. Scar like a big dumb idiots kind of deck. Because now there's a lot of
poor Warpath just got power crept with this change rate.
Oh yeah, poor Warpath. He used to be like a +10 or something.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to be winning the lane with Warpath, so who knows? Gunny T, we'll leave it to Gunny T to test that out, and whatever he tells us is the new big dumb idiots build. We'll see if Crossbones makes the cut or not.
Oh, Warpath already got cut on the bigger dumber idiots one. He's already cut, unfortunately. But this is a W change. I love it. This is sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great OTA. It's a great OTA, like I was saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of Destroy, kid, you were talking about Destroy making it to the top.
Sabretooth. Wow. 3-4 to a 3-5. Just giving Sabretooth some love here. All right. I like it.
Me too.
Many are saying 3-5 is the new 3-4, and they may be onto something. We've been fairly happy with how many of these 3-5s are working out. Yeah, because they keep fucking printing broken 4-drops.
Yes. I was going to say that.
Jesus Christ. And we expect to make more changes over time to balance out the range of power among our lower cost cards as the game grows deeper. Sabretooth is fairly analogous to Black Swan as a vanilla card with no effect unless you lean into it during deck building. But destroy-based decks are also very competitive when it comes to exactly which 12 cards make the cut. True. I like how they buffed him. I don't know if it's going to make any of the destroy lists. Who knows? I don't think so.
Not. Probably not. But at least he's a real card now.
Yeah, he will end up being a 0-5. I wonder if he's even better as a 2-drop because it's just makes. Yeah, 3-5 is good. I'm not going to complain about this. This is a good change. I just don't know if it's enough for him to be in destroy decks, but I'm sure there will be some experimenting. 3-5 is all right to play, and then if you destroy him, it's 5 more power to your null. If you play Venom on him, it's just like it's 5 more power to your Venom, and then he's a 0-5 at the end of the game. It's pretty sweet, and you can keep destroying him too. You can Carnage him too. You can 0-5 Carnage Deadpool, right? And it's all right, extra power to your Carnage and does nothing. You just got to make the initial investment. So I don't know if the initial investment of 3 energy for this card, it will end up being worth it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what you would cut for him.
Yeah. To your point, we have both actually messed around a little bit with Sabretooth and experimenting even as a 3-4. And that is the one thing, obviously his consistency and the fact that he does cost 3 is kind of what holds him back. But when he does get rolling downhill, you do really notice how much bigger your null gets and how much bigger your Venom gets. And I think if you're playing a build like that with Sabretooth, maybe you definitely include either Taskmaster or Zola, just because Venom's just going to be bigger, null's going to be bigger. So why not just lean into that more with a Task or a Zola, which they're not really making the cut right now. I think people are mostly playing Shang, understandably, in that space. And Lady Deathstrike doesn't hit this guy now, so she didn't really hit it before. But I guess you could forge Lady Deathstrike to hit him, but that's the only real way. And Forge got nerfed too, so it is kind of interesting, right? At least for sure, the pool 1 and 2 players have an actual card to play with now, and I do like that. They made him a very reasonable card you could consider, whereas before it was you're just punishing the players for being in pool 1 and 2. Here's a bunch of shit cards, good luck,
Yeah.
So they could actually just put Sabretooth in their deck. You're not collectionable, you don't have Nico, you don't have X23, fuck it, throw Sabretooth and a Bucky Barnes in there, and those cards are decent,
Yeah, no, like yeah, you're absolutely right. Actually, like, if you don't have some of these cards like Nico and like you said, X23. I mean X23. You should, if you're a destroy player, you should really get
Series 5
X23.
though,
But
right? Like, just
yeah,
think if
yeah,
you're
that's
just
true.
starting the game out, maybe you don't have Series 5 cards.
Yeah, you're right. Sabretooth is reasonable, and even like I'm wondering if like I was thinking about it. I wonder if Sabretooth's even reasonable just to put in instead of like Hulkbuster. Like
Mm-hmm.
Hulkbuster is pretty sick with Deadpool, but like it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah.
Where you can get Hulkbuster to Deadpool, and maybe just getting this 0-5 that scales all your cards. Maybe that's just better. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It'd be
a lot
something
of
to
time
try.
X23 like messes up your Hulkbuster too, because you can't control where she goes, and then a lot of games you have to play her first, and you draw Deadpool later, right? And sometimes she hops into where you would want to play the Deadpool lane, and then your Hulkbuster's like 50-50ing. It's kind of awkward, and yeah, I mean, shit, man, if it's just a 3-5, you kill this with anything, it's great. Even Deathlock, it doesn't even matter because you're still pumping your null up, so like
Yeah,
by one more power. So and then he's a 0-5 instead of a 0-4, which is just great.
yeah. The only thing, and this might change after this OTA. The only thing that holds this card back is Mobius, because then he's always going to be a 3-5 instead of a 0-5.
Yep.
But with Thanos getting nuked, I mean that's the main deck that Mobius was played in. I think, right? He's been peppered in other decks as well.
Surfer's kind of hot right now. Surfer's been hot for about a week or two, right? So,
Yeah,
or since the X-Men season, if you want to go that far back.
yeah.
I think people play Mobius in that too. But yeah,
But I mean, like
Mobius
Thanos
is,
was so good that he was just in every
yeah,
deck. So I don't know.
yeah. There might be 20% less Mobius now because of what they did to
Yeah,
Thanos,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
huge. It's a massive
yeah.
decrease. Yeah,
So yeah, that's the only consideration with this. But I mean, I'm here for it. This is a good change. I like it. I
yeah.
like it a lot.
In general, too, if you're a destroy player, you don't want to see Mobius anyway, just because of death. So, yeah, it already hits you pretty hard.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then Angela.
The
Oh,
last one.
Angela, last one. 2-2. Was it 2-2 +1? Oh, they're going back to old Angela. 2-0 after you play a card here, +2 power. Here we go. This is gonna be the return of the Silky Smooth. This is the return of Silky Smooth meta. This is sick.
That's what they said in the description.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Angela's back. The meta game has shifted to create more space for the small ball decks that leaned heavily on Angela to scale for late power. So we're adjusting in kind. Will this be enough to return decks like Silky Smooth to the metagame, or do they need more help? Time will tell. Oh man, I think this is gonna open up some. It's gonna open up some. What's it called? Space for these decks to come. I think it's gonna be good. I don't think that maybe they won't be S tier, but man, you're gonna Kitty Pride's gonna come back. This is really cool. I like these because they got rid of all the little low cost scalers, and that's why I think that's part of the reason why Thanos is running rampant. Sorry, I can't talk right now. I don't know what the hell's going on, but yeah, I'm pumped. They just got to bring back Werewolf by Night, make him a 3-1 or something or 3-0.
Yeah,
This is sick.
from the old days, like Elsa still nerfed from what she was. So that's one piece that was consistent. Beast, before, like, it was a very big thing to play Beast on your Kitty Pride, and then your Kitty Pride for the rest of the game is 0. And then if you have, like, Angela Elsa, like, that was just unbelievable, right? You have a 0 power Kitty for the rest of the game, and you're just giga proc in your Angela and your Elsa. That's toned down a bit. The fact that Elsa costs 3 is toned down a little bit, but Angela, like, this card's gonna be ridiculous again. Just if anybody, like, is newer to the game and they didn't play with the old meta, like, just if you see Angela on the board, like, prepare that she's like minimum a 2-8. Like, she's gonna be at least a 2-8, and like, this card's gonna get ridiculous once again. Maybe Shadow King will come back. I don't know if it'll be Silky Smooth, but I've been messing with Shuri Kitty for about an hour today, and it feels insane.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I was literally just gonna say that after you're done your statement. Shadow King's gonna come back now because this card will be a 2-8, 2-10, 2-6 almost minimum in the decks that you're gonna build around. Like, people are gonna have like Nightcrawler, Jeff, Kitty, that kind of stuff, Elsa, Bloodstone, Vision, all this stuff that you can play and move. It's gonna be great, and put her on like the Hope Summers lane too. Oh, you're double dipping. It's like, or put her then Hope Summers on that lane, and then you can double dip move. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yep.
It's gonna be good. If it's gonna be good, like I like this because like there needed to be more like lower cost scale options other than which we had for the longest time was only Zabu. You
Yeah.
know, so it's nice to see at least they're doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not just like big guys and we're flipping coins with Shang-Chi, right? It's like, this decks like this add a little more nuance. Like, if you have a 2/4 Jeff, or, you have your vision, but it's moving around. They don't know where it's going to end up, right? It's like a 5/10. Stuff like this. This is how you kind of play around. Even if Kitty gets up to 1/6 or whatever, right? You play around Shang and maybe actually compete for power on some of these bigger cards. So yeah, and I think the point you made too is, when this was the best deck in the game and it was an absolute menace, it did not have the card Hope Summers, right? So Hope Summers is going to be insane with these decks. Yeah, like I said, I've been playing it a little bit already, and it feels absolutely nasty.
Get ready for Sarah Control to be here for the next week.
Ghost Killmonger.
Yeah, with all these changes, and especially Red Hulk, people are going to want to play Shang. They're going to want to play Mobius. They're going to want to play Shadow King. They're going to play all these decks, and when we have all these changes and uncertainty, and like these cards that are going to get huge out of nowhere, and like Angela's going to get huge out of nowhere. Red Hulk's with a fucking 640 regularly. When you have all these cards like this, Sarah Control is the best thing because no one knows what to do, and when people are figuring out, it just counters everything. So
yeah.
I think that's what we're going to see for the next week. But man, I'm excited to see old Angela back because then that means we can play a little bit more Kitty Pride, which is great. Because I missed that card. That card's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah,
this is cool. This is so cool. I like it. Are you happy about this change, or are you nervous? You seem kind of nervous about it.
This is the only one I'm a little bit nervous about. I do want to say the other 5 changes, I love all of them. I think they're fantastic. I mean, Sabretooth Crossbones, like, let's fucking go, and then like really harsh Thanos nerf, which I think is great, especially if it definitely turns them into Quicksilver. Then it's a huge nerf, and then just kind of nuke the Time Stone as well. And then so like these are great changes. I think one power off of a discard again is good. And again, and if it gets too out of control, I would suggest they take one off of Proxima, because she does not need to be a 4/7. It's ridiculous that she's a 4/7. But yeah, man, all those changes I love. Old Angela was crazy, and I actually liked that they nerfed the old Angela when they did. I know a lot of people were giga tilted about it, but me personally, I liked that they nerfed it. I just thought they were way too harsh. Like 2/3, what was it? Or it was 2/2 +1. That's so bad. Like, at least make her 2/3 +1. Like, they just erased her from Marvel Snap. Like, I remember when we were reacting to it the first time, I'm like, what are they doing? Like, I call her right away. I'm like, this card's dead. This is a dead card. And I remember people were trying to play with it. I'm like, no, like, guys, come on. It's so bad. So like, they could at least did 2/3 +1. But yeah, so I think they were a little too harsh with her, but I'm a little nervous about this for sure.
Well, yeah, but when they released her, or when they nerfed her before, they didn't like print all these broken cards like Mockingbird, Call Obsidian, and stuff like that. Red Hulk again, we'll get to, but the power level of all these cards has gone up so significantly from like 6 months ago that it's kind of nuts to think about. Like that, I think she's gonna be just fine. That being said, if she's reliably a 2/8, I mean, she's broken, as hell. But I mean, you got to play a cost to play her, right? You got to throw things in the lane, so you can always clog her and stuff too, and that that'll get rid of her. So
yeah, and to their point, and what we've kind of seen in the last month is the only, like, what little scalers do we have in the game, other than the card Morbius, right? Like Morbius, in discard specifically, so he very easily gets into a 2/10, like it's nothing, So like if Morbius is a 2/10, like someone's got to compete with that, right? So it's nice to see Angela's back. I thought the first nerf would have been cool if they went to like a -1 or a -2, like, let her keep her +2, even a 2 -2. I don't hate that if the card gets too broken, but for now, it's Angela's season, baby. Let's see what she can do.
Yeah, but then also too, like this might bring Sandman back as well, because people are gonna want to play all these little cards and like to like dump and stuff like that, and like Sandman just says nope, I'm gonna just shit on all you, and that's it. Yeah. So that is Sandman will be a nice counter to this. Not that people want to see Sandman in in the meta, but I don't think it's going to be taking over. I think the meta is going to be pretty cool actually with all these changes
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's shaping up to be a fun meta for sure, but with a lot of red and steroids.
Yeah, exactly. And then okay, Baxter building. There's random buff Baxter building. Was a +3, now it's a +4. All right.
People already like gave their left nut to try to win the Baxter building, so I mean it's gonna get out of control now.
Yeah. Oh, this is Omega Red nerf. But
Not if you can
yeah.
win it. Not if you can win it.
No, I know. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they would do it, but sure. I guess just everything just power creep the locations now too. So
Oh, you know what? We probably just don't get it because it says, "Do you get it?" Yeah, you get it, but I mean, I don't. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe hey, let us know in the comments what aren't we getting here on the Baxter building? You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know what the hell's going on with this.
yeah,
Baxter
I have no idea. I don't get it.
building.
I get they just increased it, but yeah, is 4 significant in the lore? I have no fucking clue. I don't know.
Probably it has to be, right? It's got to be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The kid doesn't get it.
Yeah. Neither do I.
The kid's lost. What else is new?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the meta. That was a good OTA. I'm happy about all of it. I think it's great.
Mhm.
You know, WOTA is fun. It's gonna be a fun meta now.
Mhm.
All right. Let me pull up. You know, the red elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who do you want to talk about first, Zemo or Red Skull? Because we got 2 new cards that came out.
I want to start with Red Hulk just because
All right.
we've already said his name. I mean, it's mostly me. Like, I'm sorry, but we've invoked his name like 15 times on this pod already. So I think we have to start here. I'm a little bit disappointed with this card. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm past the point of being mad, and I'm now at disappointed. Like I said all of this when they decided that they were gonna print Call Obsidian, and I just think it's bad card design. Like I don't know what the testing team is doing. Like I don't know what they're doing because I understand with a lot of these cards, it's hard to see if they're gonna be broken. Like I see, again, I mean we all called it, but I could see if they said, okay, we're moving Loki to a 4/5, that should be a big nerf, right? It obviously wasn't, but it made sense, right? It's like, okay, like they don't know that it's definitely like not even going to matter at all that they're moving Loki to a 4/5, right? Like that, because that's just a big nerf in theory.
Yeah.
And like stuff like this, right? Like they don't know. A lot of people didn't see Blob coming, right? So Blob was crazy, but a lot of people didn't see it coming. I mean, hey, I was hyping him, but like a ton of people were like, yeah, no, it's just a big guy, whatever, But on Call Obsidian, everybody knew that it was just total power creep bullshit. The numbers are way too big. The numbers per cost are way too big. I don't know how it gets through testing. How does anybody like test that card and be like, yeah, no, it's fine. Let's release it like this. Like it's fucking ridiculous. So that card just comes out, and all these cards too were like, oh well, the data mines aren't reliable, right? So it's fine. Like, well, let's not freak out. Like they'll adjust it a week before because they test it like closer to when the meta's closer, right? So
yeah.
Okay, the Call Obsidian comes out 4/10. No problem. You can play him with Thanos. You can play him on the same turn. You can play a 1 and the Call on the same turn. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, it's a joke. At least if you had to have a 1 already on the board, it's a little bit harder. But it's like come on, man. It's a 4/10. Crossbones a 4/8. I mean, we had a whole pod with Kieran Nimbus the memeing on that shit with the power creep. So then we get to Mockingbird, and everybody knew how broken that was. So we all just assumed, like, it's just the data mines. We know it's easily going to be a 3/9, and like Gladiator's a 3/8 with downside, right? Like Maximus was a 3/7 with downside, like, and those cards still saw some play, and like they'll play them with Zero or Cosmo, whatever. But no, Mockingbird just comes out. It just comes out. It's basically a 0/9. Works with Thanos too for some reason. So it's basically a 0/9 in Thanos. Squirrel Girl makes it a 3/9 instantly. Mysterio makes it a 2/9 instantly. And this card's just in the game, and there's no way to counter it, and it's a joke. So like that card comes out, and that's just all the best decks have Mockingbird. And so why do you think like everybody's pissed off at the Thanos stuff? Here we go to Red Hulk again, and we did like 2 pods, kid, on this card, right? Where we're like, okay, and even I was saying like, hey, 6/10 +4, like obviously they're gonna move that to a +3, or obviously they'll move him down to 8 power, like because I don't think his effect is that broken. I don't think the card design is that broken, but we all knew every content creator, anyone who previews cards, anybody who looks at a Dynamine knew that the numbers were way too fucking big on this card as a 610 +4 for every skip.
Yeah.
As a 610 +4, we knew that's way too big. It's going to be on average a 618 that you could play anywhere, right? Where Giganto's like a 614 that you can only play left. Okay, it's like this guy's close to an Infinite on average that you don't have to skip a turn for. And they not only didn't really release it as a 610, they buffed it to a 611. What are we doing here, guys? So like this is a joke. Like this is a joke. They're not even testing cards. They must just be like, they come up with the idea and nobody tests it. Like they just played Barron Zemo mirrors, and I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, it's wild. They had me like second guessing myself last week because we were saying this for like, you know, months. We're like, this is a fucking broken card. They're gonna adjust it. Like the power's too much. But then they buffed it to a 611. And even last week I remember saying like, okay, maybe the condition is like a lot harder to meet than you think, because why the fuck would they buff this card? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, man. I mean, this card is so busted. It's not even fucking close. This card is like ridiculous. You know, to the people listening or watching, this card is right now in its current state an obvious buy, and the best, you know, the best way to use your resources, because it can go in any deck. That being said, I am not going to be surprised this is nerfed real fucking quick. This card, even just playing with it for the last, you know, 2 days, dude, it gets to over 20 power so easily. It's not even fair. It's insanity, this card. Yeah, 619 is easy, a joke, and it's like, it's wild. You know, it doesn't even matter that your opponent can see that it's buffing. Like, it's good because at least it could tell you like when to retreat, you know, but like it doesn't even matter realistically. Like it's just like it's winning a lane. This is Blob 2.0, and yeah, this card, if it doesn't get nerfed, you know, soon, it's just going to be all over the meta, and it can go in any deck because it's so flexible.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you could put it in any deck, and it's just kind of always a 615, pretty much, you know. But if you start building the deck around him, then it starts to get a little bit ridiculous. Like there's cards like Magic you could pair with him, and most decks aren't built to spend 7 energy on turn 7, you know. And it prolongs the game, so it, you know, if you draw them on turn 4, that's another turn where they could potentially skip. So Magic's really good with them. A card like Iceman is pretty good with them. You know, you just might hit the thing they wanted to play on curve there, and so you have Iceman in the deck, and now they can't play it. You got Red Hulk in your hand. That's another 4 power. Cards like what was the other one? Oh my god, I've totally drawn a blank, kid. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I had another one in my head, but I totally forgot because I thought of the Iceman stuff. I'm still heated from the rant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No, he's ridiculous. Like even like I'll say like I played a game where like the peak came up as the second location, and the Red Hulk was in my hand. Motherfucking Red Hulk got up to a 618. Still by the end of the game after he got peaked, after he got like nuked by the peak. He was a 618 at the end of the game and won me the game. I was like, this is just wild. This is absurd, this card. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about this card. It's just like I don't think any of the other cards coming out this season are going to even come close to this card. He's just a big idiot. It's just a big power stick that reliably gets, you know, huge. Yeah, he's reliably a 619. Like he's reliably better than an Infinite. And there's like, I'd say like most games that I play with him, like most, maybe I'm just like biased, I guess, but most, I feel like he's over a 20 most of the time. Like he just gets over 20. He gets to be better than an Infinite like a lot of the time. Even if it's like 40%, even if it's like 40%, it's like a lot of the time he's just way better than an Infinite. And like we were even talking, I'm like the Infinite needs to be like a 625, 630 to even like compete with this card.
Yeah.
You know, before like any deck that runs the Infinite, take an Infinite out immediately and put this card in. It's just better. It's just way better. You know, unless you could find like a Hella deck that plays both, and like, you know, that's even better.
Hella playing both for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. This card's wild. This card's insane. I don't know what they were thinking when they buffed them. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about it for months now, and we thought for sure the numbers are going to come down. It's fine. It's such a cool concept for a card too. It is a bit of a shame because this is a really cool concept. I do like that they nuked Thanos quite a bit, because on the day one of the season, I was running into so many Thanos players who were just put Red Hulk in the Thanos deck and like LOL, like it was just so brainless and horseshit. Then it's just the same shit we've been playing like since January basically. But the deck's just better because it has Red Hulk now, because Thanos kept getting the new card and just the new broken card. Like I already talked about the other two and just putting it in the deck. So I'm happy that's kind of nuked, so people will at least get a little more creative with how they play the card now. I mean, you could play them in Hella, you could play them in some Shuri lists, you could play them in Bounce. I mean, you could play them. You could play them in everything. Like, who am I kidding? Like, you have a deck, you could put Red Hulk in it.
Yeah, I literally was making like a mill, like low, kind of like low cost, like a bounce kind of style, deck with Zemo, just to like screw around and just have some fun at the beginning of the season. And then I'm just like, I didn't have Red Hulk in there. I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna put Red Hulk in. Like, why not? Like, if I have nothing to do on turn 6, I can just slam down to 620, idiot, and it's like amazing.
Yeah.
And guess what? It was amazing.
It's
like,
great in that deck. Yeah.
and it's like anything with Hope Summers too is like ridiculous. You just get this guy comes out early, like you can Taskmaster him, like it's insanity. This card is ridiculous, man.
It's just too many points.
Even if he's a 610 plus 3, that's still really fucking good card. He still gets to a 619 pretty decent amount of a decent amount of the time. And he gets to be a 616 a lot of the time, almost all the time. Which is like ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty reasonable card though, right? You draw him late, it's kind of bad. Maybe his 13's not enough to win it for you for 6 power. But I like that design for sure. Yeah, if he was 610 plus 3, I mean, I would rather he be that than what he is now currently. But yeah, so if you're debating to spend your keys, token purchase, this Mockingbird, I mean, one of those two is probably the best card in the game. Up there with Shang-Chi, like top 5 card in the game for sure. And like he's a very strong nerf candidate. So just don't spend your keys or your tokens if you're one of those people that gets mad that they nerfed the card that you just spent your hard-earned money on. Because I mean, this guy is screaming like, please nerf me.
Yeah, I don't see a world where he lasts more than another month and a half.
Yeah,
like I cannot see a world where, and maybe I'm wrong, but like this card just feels so broken. So this is giving me like Blob vibes on the Blob. I mean, no, he doesn't get to a 670, but like except for they just had the stupid hot location, Shuri's lab, and there's a lot of instances where I've seen him over 100, but yeah, I don't see how he doesn't get nerfed.
Yeah,
and even if he gets nerfed to like what I said, a 610 and plus 3, that's still an insanely good card.
Yeah, and that's a cool card and a cool design. So I mean, hey, design team crushing it, but balancing and testing, like you guys fucked up here. Like I gotta call it.
It's a big fuck up. They buffed him last week. I don't know why.
OTAs, unreal. Crushed the OTAs.
Yeah.
So this, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, this card's wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the season pass card. Barron Zemo here. Yeah, so he's a 3/5 on reveal. Recruit the lowest cost card from your opponent's deck to your side of this location. What are your thoughts on this card so far?
I think this is a very cool and fun and interesting card that is decent card. He's slightly better than I expected. I didn't think he would be like trash, but I thought he was going to be like maybe average card. And to me feels like slightly above average. Like the Loki stuff with him seems pretty crazy. I didn't think people would be able to play him in Surfer, but they are. So I just thought he takes up too much board space for like a Surfer deck. But it seems to be no problem, and the stats on those Surfer decks with him seem really good. I don't think you need to go all in on the mill stuff, but it is really fun. Like, Yondu, Chadiator, Cable, we play all these cards. I mean, those cards, if you don't include stuff like Grandmaster, like say just those cards, like those are decent cards on their own anyway. Obviously, Yondu is only decent in the case of in tandem with Zemo, but yeah, man, I think he's really interesting, and he does like it does come up where you mill out their whole deck. Like it happens probably more often than not. If you're playing like a mill deck, you actually do mill out their entire deck like most of the time.
Yeah, no. I made a little mill deck, just like a homebrew to start the season off, which I'm sure is similar to 90% of all the mill decks out there.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not trying to like say, oh, I made a mill deck. No, they're all the same, and it got me through the 70s into the 80s. I was just dicking around with it. Dude, this card's a lot of fun. This card is so much fucking fun. Just like what I agree with you actually 100%. He's a lot better than I thought he was going to be. I didn't think I didn't think he was going to be shit. I thought he was going to be kind of okay.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, man. Like he's like not like an S tier card. Like he's not like fucking Red Hulk. Like I don't think he's ever going to get nerfed because I think he's pretty fair. But like when to play him is pretty important because if you play him like on turn 6, it's a really good card, man. They usually have some good stuff left in their deck. Like turn 5, turn 6, if you can sneak him in there, it's pretty good, especially after you've milled a ton of shit. With Yondu cable, that kind of stuff. So like he's getting pretty damn good value. Even if you play him on 3 and you get like a low cost card, it's not the end of the world. It's still decent. But he's not phenomenal card. He's not horrible. He's not nice for a season pass card, but he's a ton of fun. Like let's be honest, he's just like a fun fucking card. I like enjoy playing him every time I play him.
Yeah, and
like,
he creates like these really wacky and fun kind of like situations. Like sometimes you'll play him on like a cloning bath or something, right? And like or like a Kamartage, right? And just if you get to get 2 Zemo procs, like the second one's usually pretty crazy, especially if you open Yondu, right? Like so, and usually I when I was playing him, I almost always just held him until I had my Yondu, and then if it's like turn 4, I just go Yondu Zemo, So, like, especially if you Yondu first, and if you get like 2 Zemos off, like shit gets kind of crazy. And he also discounts Mockingbird, so there's that. That's like why not, right? At least it's something other than let's play some Thanos stones and make it a 0/9, right? So, like a unique way to play Mockingbird anyway. And he's kind of interesting. Like you kind of Elsa, you could fill up lanes and get buffs. He's good for cards like if you want to play like Blue Marvel. Obviously, it's 2 bodies on the floor, but let the bodies hit the floor. But it's like 2 bodies, but then you could set up like Valkyrie and stuff like that. Like I was doing that when he first came out. I did like kind of Blue Marvel, Valkyrie, Ant-Man, Dazzler, Zemo kind of deck, and it worked pretty well. And obviously Mockingbird as well. So. You could play all these cards, and Valk's gonna take down their Red Hulk, so the Red Hulks can come down, and we play Valk on the Red Hulk.
Oh God! Until you float a mana.
Then he's still like a 3/7 with Valk, but it's okay.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of love this card. He's a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun with him. I'm sure like as more decks and stuff, everything gets more sophisticated. He'll be there'll be a better decks for him. But yeah, like you said, Surfer seems to be pretty good with him. Just like it's just fun to play some mill decks, and I think part of it too is one, the grind up to infinite is like littered with bots, so you have bots here and there. So it's fun to abuse them and play these dumb cards and just like abuse the bots, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
and also everyone's playing kind of the same shit too. Like there's a lot of people playing mill decks. Not everyone's like, oh, I gotta just all play the highest, best meta decks possible. So it's nice that like everyone's kind of messing around as well. So it makes for some interesting matches, and like not like you're not getting shit on constantly. So like I don't think the decks are S tier, but they're fun and you can still climb with them. So
the effect is fun. Like I mean, there's just some weird pulls you can get that make for some interesting games. Like there was one where I played him on 4, and then I pulled a Psylocke, and then I played Red Hulk on 5. It was just emoting because it was just hilarious. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'll play this a turn early. Like, it was so funny. Like, it was just crazy shit. Like, I pulled a Miss Marvel one time, like, because I milled a bunch, and then I ended up just yoinking Miss Marvel out of the deck. I ended up being like a good Miss Marvel. I think it's just luckily in the middle, and just some cool shit could happen. So sometimes like you pull a Titania, and then he screws you over. Like it hops to the other side. And it's just funny.
Yeah, no, it is funny. I kind of love it. Yeah, I've pulled some, like I pulled a death one time. I pulled, you can get some big
Oh,
cards that you pull
yeah,
and
because
just
it's
like
discounted.
turns the
Yeah.
game. Yeah. Um, I don't know if it discounts in the deck. Maybe it was the last card in their deck. I don't know. I don't
No,
remember. But
it was probably discounted. That's why you're talking about the
oh
evil
well,
stuff.
we'll talk about
Yeah,
that. We'll talk
yeah,
about that once we get to your deck.
yeah.
I'll rant about that a little bit. That stupid fucking deck that you gave me,
Not bad, not
which is
bad.
actually a great deck. But
I'm just doing.
well, let's talk about some of the decks. You want to
Mhm.
start with that one, or do you want to
Sure.
talk about? Let's talk about this one. So no big deal gave me a little spice. Was it yesterday? I think
Hmm.
it was kind of like a Pixie Evo Red Hulk deck. Um, so I'll say the deck list: it's Sunspot, Nebula, Misty Knight, Pixie, Magic, Mobius, Kyra, High Evo, Professor X, She Hulk, Red Hulk, and Hulk. And I think Tucker came on here and gave us like a Pixie Evo deck, but that had like Cyclops and stuff like that. That was like more of, I think that had Wasp as well. This was leading more into the big people, and then Professor X as well with Pixie. So no big deal. Why don't you explain yourself here?
Well, I mean, we'll start with the Cyclops. Not an inclusion. What I'm thinking is, number one, I don't want to be pumping my opponent's Red Hulk if I don't have to. So every time you blast with Cyclops, it's only 2 power, and their Red Hulk gets 4. Oh, sorry, my camera is just struggling right now, but that should be okay. So yeah, I mean, you give 4 power to their Red Hulk, but you only -2 off the board. So I mean, that's just just -2 in every time. Like, what are you doing, right? So I think just the Red Hulk, just having the Red Hulk yourself, like, want to focus more on pumping up your own Red Hulk. And so that's why I ended up cutting Cyclops. I mean, it might be wrong, but I like having obviously the Mobius with the Pixie. So that's obviously core synergy there. I know Cozy was running this deck. That's where I got the idea to put Professor X. So shout out to Cozy. Just put freaking Professor X in an Evo deck, but it makes a lot of sense. You can slam it on a Sunspot or Nebula lane, and obviously Pixie can discount it as well. And so you lock down your Sunspot Nebula, and then if you need to float, and Nebula is just guaranteed going to be going +2/+2. If you say you play it on 5, Nebula is gonna proc twice with Magic. So that's really cool synergy. And then you have She-Hulk, Red Hulk, Hulk to win the other 2 lanes. Even if one of them gets shanked, you're probably playing another one in the other lane. It's gonna be She-Hulk plus one of those guys. So yeah, man, it's a really cool deck. And I guess, yeah, beware of opponents' Red Hulks. Obviously, during Red Hulk season, playing an Evo deck is a little bit scary, but I've been having pretty good success with it personally. But who knows? Maybe it's just I'm pumping bots. Who knows?
Well, let me tell you about my woes with this deck. So I started off playing with this deck, and because I've been wanting to play Pixie for a while, and
Yeah.
High Evo is always a blast, and yeah, this was a fun deck. So I started out playing. I was doing well. I was climbing a little bit, and then the wheels started to come off a little bit. I'd get into my groove like, oh, Pixie, then I get Mobius. I'm like, all right, this is a good snap condition, because your cards are going to be low. This happened on 3 separate occasions where Pixie, Mobius, snap, and then opponent plays Barron Zemo. Now, Baron Zemo recruits the lowest cost card. So when you get Pixie, it switches all the costs of all the cards. So your big boys are now low cost most of the time. So it happened on 3 separate times where their Baron Zemo pulled out my She-Hulk, pulled out my Red Hulk, and then pulled out my High Evil Hulk.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. And then snap back and I'm like, I gotta leave. There's no way I can beat this.
Yeah. No, you're done. Yeah.
So during the Baron Zemo craze that's going on right now, I would be weary of playing Pixie because I mean Baron Zemo is just gonna pull out some wild shit,
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun when that shit wasn't happening to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just be weird. I was like, after that happened 3 times in a row, I think it happened 3 out of 5 games. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put this back on the bench here, and we'll revisit this another day. But I was having a fun time. But just Zemo dominates Pixie.
Yeah, this was just where I mean, I didn't get Hulk till I think the second day. So this was like right when I picked up Red Hulk. I was like, okay, like my first thought was my favorite synergy is Magic. I mean, I've talked about it already. I already like the card Magic, and I think she's just a perfect pairing with Red Hulk. Like, it's just the exact card you need to enable this just broken ass giant stat stick, even more than he already does. And what's the best deck to play Magic in? Oh, She-Not deck, obviously, right? So like this is just the natural, She-Not. Now obviously we cut the knot for Red Hall, but I gotta make room for the big boy. Yeah, so that was my thinking with it. It's really not that deep, and like you, Kid, I just wanted to play some Pixie. I don't really play her that much, so. This is fun. Maybe when the Zemo hype calms down, could be something to think about.
I remember playing this deck and sending you screenshots. It was like even this deck or like another Red Hulk deck too. Like I was in like there was like 3 or 4 games in a row where I kept sending you screenshots where it was like Red Hulk was 23, Red Hulk was 27, Red Hulk was 23. I'm like, bro, these games are back to back. I'm like, this card's fucked.
Yeah,
this card is fucked. There's no way around it. He's always a 20. Like there's like under no circumstances should he be over 20. 3-4 games in a row. And then it kept happening. I kept sending you screenshots. I'm like, bro, this is fucked. Bro, this card's fucking ridiculous. Dude, this is insanity. Like, it's crazy. And especially if you Magic, like, if like Magic doesn't get shut off, he's easily over 20. Infinite was the easiest cut of probably your life in this deck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's just way better than the Infinite. Mm-hmm. And with Kyra, you can't kill him. So...
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Kyra pops off in this deck too.
Oh my god, Kyra is insane in this deck.
Yeah, the fact that you could play, because most decks you can't play Red Hulk early, because I mean he's just a Shang-Chi magnet, obviously. But yeah, man, Kyra like is just the perfect card. I mean, you have 3 1-drops that you need to protect, and all 3 Hulks. I mean, it's Hulkamania, brother. Hell yeah, brother.
I think this is a fun deck to play. Once the Zemo meta kind of dies down a bit in the next week or so, I think revisiting this deck would be really fun because there's a lot you can do with it. With the Pixies a fun time. Mm-hmm. If you want the RNG gods to be on your side.
Mm-hmm. Because what's better than a 6-cost Red Hulk? A cheaper Red Hulk.
Oh my god, yeah. What else do you want to go on? Do you want to go over some of these mill decks?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
This is the one that I made right away off rip. It's probably similar to some of the decks people are playing. Like this is just the one I made day one, and I rolled with it. And there's probably better versions out here, but this is the one that got me from 73 to 83 that I started playing other stuff. Iceman, Yondu, Beast, Cable, Mysterio, Hope Summers, Baron Zemo, Gladiator, Stature, Black Bolt, Mockingbird, Red Hulk. The Hope Summers slot is one I tried a bunch of different cards in because all the other cards felt really good. But just I think I initially had Baron Mordo because I'm like, let me just try Baron Mordo. I want to play this card, I'm like, I never play this card. I just want to, screw their hand a little bit more. I think I tried Spider Ham in here. I tried Wong. Moon Girl was another consideration that I was going to try if Hope Summers didn't do well. The Wong was fun, like with Black Bolt, but like that's the only time I really used him and got a decent amount of value from Wong. Otherwise, playing a 4/2 just wasn't worth it. Mm-hmm. But then I started playing. I'm like, all right, let me just play the broken cards then, and I just put Hope in. I was like, she just feels so good in this deck. Like she's great.
Yeah, she's an insane card.
I wanted to do the Black Bolt Stature package because I hadn't played that in a hot minute, so I felt like it's on par with like the hand disruption here. And then I wanted to play Mockingbird because broken cards are broken, which is why I put Mysterio in, who is pretty good. He's makes Mockingbird 2 cost, and you could always beast one of the illusions up if you're losing if you're stuck for board space. So it felt really good. So this deck felt really good. I think this is a deck too that I initially didn't have Red Hulk in. I just had other stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put this broken card in here, and it just turns out to be so good. But yeah, so
it's nice too. Like with that's Hope's another one of those cards that just like Magic, right? Where just she really enables the Red Hulk. Like especially in a deck like this, you play anything on Hope on turn 5, or say Black Bolt on Hope turn 5, and now you can stature Red Hulk on turn 6, right? So like that's ridiculous, right? So even if it's not stature Red Hulk, you could do something else too. So I mean, or like Mockingbird, you could do like Mockingbird Red Hulk, because if you have Mysterio Zemo, that's a 1-cost Mockingbird. So you could do play Mysterio onto Hope on turn 5, and then Mockingbird Red Hulk turn 6. Like have fun, try to beat that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's good. And I know some of these lists have like Spider Ham and stuff in them too. Like I'll pull up another one of these kind of milled ass. Like this is a bounce one that I haven't I haven't played yet, but I saw.
Mhm.
Spider Ham, Iceman, Nico, Yondu, Beast, Cable, Falcon, Zemo, Gladiator, Shang-Chi, Doc Ock, and Red Hulk. See a lot of Doc Ock around.
Mhm.
I think Dara had a cool mill list too. I think he had Doc Ock and Black Bolt stature as well with like some of the mill cards, and I think he even made it to Infinite with that list, and it looked pretty fun. But yeah, I mean these decks are just fun. They're fun decks. You
Yeah.
know, they're not doing anything crazy, but like they're cool they're fun to play because like you're destroying your opponent's cards, you're ruining their hand, and then most of the time they're playing the same kind of deck too, so they're doing the same thing to you.
Mhm.
And then Zemo pulls out some weird shit sometimes, and it's hilarious. It's a
Yeah.
fun deck to play.
Yeah, and to your point with the stature Black Bolt, I mean that's really where I think the autofill Doc Ock, that's where the Doc Ock tech comes in, because it's like you're cucking their deck so hard. So how do we attack their hand? And you thought, hey, let me do Black Bolt stature, right? Which makes a lot of sense. But if you really want to cuck their hand, you play the card Doctor Octopus,
Yeah,
and
oh yeah.
you're probably pulling a Shang. Like, let's be real, he's dead. But if you rip their whole hand out and then they don't have a deck, like they still got to win the other two locations, and maybe you could still win that one with your own Shang-Chi. So Doc Ock is like pretty crazy alongside Zemo stuff specifically. I think Doc Ock's like a kind of cool like Zemo synergy that I didn't even like think about when we were previewing the card Baron Zemo.
Yeah, here's the one that you've been loving. So why don't you talk about this one?
Yeah, this is probably the main deck I've been climbing with this season. So like 2-3 hours into getting Red Hulk, I just put Red Hulk in the deck, and then I hit autofill. And TheKiD just did it now right before this pod, and we still got the exact same deck, baby. So it looks like it's doing pretty good. I think a lot of people are playing this because I've played a bunch of mirrors with this thing. And the deck is Hawkeye, Iceman, Yondu, Beast, Cable, Falcon, Magic, Zemo, Glad, the Chad, Shang-Chi, Doc Ock, and Red Hulk. And this deck, I mean, I didn't realize how many like crazy synergies it had till I started playing it. And like I just think whatever, auto build, like I'll just start playing it and then I'll start switching cards out. And like I don't know what to switch out, because like it's just like everything feels great. I've always loved Hawkeye in bounce decks. I think it's just like a very easy 1/4 that a lot of the time is a 1/7. And if he's a 1/7, like that's sick. So Iceman, I like in bounce decks over Spider Ham because number one, really good synergy with Red Hulk. Again, you can cuck their curve, and then Red Hulk gets bigger. So he has really good synergy with Red Hulk. But with Spider Ham, when you play him over and over again, a lot of time it just hits the same pig. So you just pick one card, then you play him again, he pigs the same card, and he's a 1/1 body. So I prefer Iceman in bounceless, but I like Spider Ham in like Dark Oculus, for example. And then yeah, Yondu obviously with the Zemo. We got Beast and Falcon both, so we're going crazy with bounces. Cable's crazy, eh? Like I've been having a lot of fun with Cable Kid.
Cable's great. He feels really nice. Like
Yeah,
he's fun. And like even like when they're, it's even like it's gonna sound like weird and like kind of masochistic to say, but like even when opponents play Cable against me, like I think that's fun too. So I'm like, oh
yeah,
shit, what they pull from my deck?
I agree. Yeah,
The deck tracker doesn't know that shit. Like sometimes I'll look at the deck tracker if I'm playing like not on my phone. I'll look. I'm like, oh man, it doesn't tell me what the hell.
Mhm.
So I never know what they pull. So it's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Add some like mystery to the game. You're like, oh shit, but like he feels good to pull because sometimes you pull it and like I've like pulled Hellas and stuff before, and I'm like, oh, they're fucked. Like and
Yeah.
I'll just like snap and like they don't know. They think they're still gonna draw their Hella or something.
Yeah, the
But
last crazy Cable one I played Cable, I pulled Silver Surfer and snapped, and it was just like, that's great. Like, it's just a cool card.
yeah,
I'm surprised with how like really cool, fun, interesting Cable is. So I think they did a great job on the. I was shitting on the balance team before, but great job on Cable for sure. I think they made him like an awesome, interesting card. We got there eventually with Cable.
yeah,
But yeah, man, and the stuff I said before with Doc Ock like really applies here. Like you can. Like you destroy their whole deck, and then you play Doc Ock and they don't have a hand, and you're playing Magic as well, so you have a couple extra turns to play. Like you could go turn 6, you Shang the lane, right? Turn 7, you do like Red Hulk Hawkeye or something, and like it's they just don't have anything to play, so it's a pretty crazy and powerful deck. And yeah, even on Shuri's Lab, like Doc Ock on Shuri's Lab, their cards don't get doubled, so He's a 520, and their shit doesn't get doubled, so it's kind of nice. And but yeah, outside of Shuri's Lab, obviously, I just think this is a really cool and interesting and smart, well-designed deck by the autofill feature in Marvel Snap.
Yeah, I think
I don't see that too often, so I think it's really cool.
I think I'm gonna play this, more as I'm climbing through the 80s and 90s and stuff. Just because I've been having a lot of fun with the mill stuff. It's a lot of fun, and I like Doctor Octopus. Like I think he's a fun card to play, and I haven't played him yet this season, so I'm excited to play him actually. So I'll probably get in on this kind of stuff. Now that the stupid hot location's over, not everyone's playing Shuri Kitty on Shuri's Lab, which I joined in that festivities as well.
Yeah,
Kitty Pryde, Red Hulk, Taskmaster was fucking nonsense on the Shuri's Lab.
We're forced to play the stupid hot location, as per usual. Season starts, we're all excited. Here's a fucking hot location. Thanks, guys. I really wanted to play Marvel Snap, but now I can't.
Yeah, I wonder what their justification was. They're like, oh well, this fucking. They wanted cards to keep up with the Red Hulk amount of power. That's why they released Shuri's Lab. It was the only way that the cards could even come close to the Red Hulk's base power.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether. Red Hulk himself is unreal on it. First of all, right? He's like 23. You play him on there as a 46, right?
Yeah,
that's without the card Shuri. But yeah, like I don't know, man. It's like I think Mean Girls said it right, where they're like, don't try to make fetch happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen or whatever. Like that's second dinner with these hot locations, man. They keep trying to make hot locations happen. I think they're just like. They're in so deep at this point that they're just like committed to the bit, like they gotta just keep doing. Like I don't know. I was listening to KM Best and Brandon's podcast there, the Snapshot, and they had Glenn Jones on, and even KM Best and Brandon were like shitting on hot locations, and they all just kind of like laughed it off, like they were just memeing. And KM Best is like, like I love streaming, like I'm streaming almost every day, except on fucking hot locations, right to Glenn's face.
Yeah.
And like they all just laugh. So like I think they're just committed to the bit at this point.
Yeah, I mean, well, Glenn has nothing to do with hot locations. I don't think he just balance and design.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. I wonder his take on it. But that's hilarious. And we digress though. Everyone knows that we fucking hate these stupid hot locations. The worst fucking things, especially when the season starts. I mean, I'm not gonna get into it again. I just said we're gonna digress. But this this deck looks like a lot of fun. The auto builder just crushing it.
It's got a crazy win rate for me for sure. Yeah. I mean,
is Magic integral in this deck? Because I'm not like a Magic believer. Like, what if I play Hope instead of Magic?
Yeah, you can for sure. But that's one less turn to deal with the Doc Ock problem that you might have created for yourself, and it's one less turn that Red Hulk. You might lose 4 power on your Red Hulk.
That's true.
So it's up to you. But yeah, you obviously can. I mean, Hope's an unreal card. So
yeah. And one thing I want to say with piggyback off what you were saying before, and I want to agree with you that like when I found playing these mill decks, almost every time I'm milling their whole deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get them to 0 cards, like they just have the cards in their hand. Almost every game, like it's not that or like 1 card left in their deck, or like you're milling a ton. Mm-hmm. So like it's pretty significant. Like it's crazy. I didn't think you would do that every time. Because like Chad pulls them out, Cable pulls them out, Yondu does, and Zemo does too. And if you beast, you can Yondu Cable again. Like it's pretty crazy.
And Magic kind of does too. To go to bat for Magic a little more too. It's another draw, right? So it makes the mill a little bit better. But to your point, my deck's pretty much milled every time too, because these are all just freaking mirror matches. I also don't have a deck by like turn 4. So yeah.
Historically, I fucking hate mirror matches. I think they're the worst. I actually don't mind these ones. I don't know why.
They're fun, yeah.
Because at least like mirror matches, like because you have cards like Cable and stuff too. Like you're taking some of their shit. Mm-hmm. It's like you're getting new things too. So even if it's a mirror match, it's still kind of different because like Zemo pulls different shit, Cable pulls different shit. So like it's there's a little bit of variety, which is nice.
Yeah, and like the Loki mirror was kind of like that, but it was shit because it was like, did you get Collector, and then did your opponent get Collector, and then whoever, like if one guy gets it and the other guy doesn't, like the game's over. So before Loki on curve. So this one's not like that at all. This is just chaos mirror. And it's really fun.
Which is fun. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I think. It's not the same rudimentary bullshit every game like the Loki one was.
Yeah, like even like the Thanos mirrors back. It's like, oh, who drew Time Stone? Who drew
Yeah,
Mind Stone? Right?
yeah.
It's like, fuck, you know, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, any other spice you want to give to the people here?
Oh yeah. So well, first of all, Lambie made a ramp deck. I just want to just point this out. This thing feels really good. Leader, because we've talked a lot on this pod about how good of a card Red Hulk is.
Yeah.
So imagine if you can just match your opponent's Red Hulk and get another Red Hulk on the board. And with a card like Leader, like you play Red Hulk on 5, and then you play your Leader on 6 to take their Red Hulk, right? Because you are a ramp deck. So Corvus Glaive's gonna give you +1 permanent power. Electro gives you +1 permanent power. So you could absolutely get 2 Red Hulks on the board like pretty reliably with a deck like this. You see the Red Hulk gaining power, so you know if they have it. So it's like scouting for your leader, which is pretty sick, and just a deck that can reasonably play leader. Also, the card
Why don't you say the
Sandman.
deck? Say the deck first.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot to say the whole deck. Yeah, so Lambie, I think this was on Lambie's Twitter, like day one, he made this. It's Jeff, Electro, Corvus Glaive, Wave, Sandman, Vision, Leader, Doctor Doom, Hela, Odin, Red Hulk, and Magneto. And it's obviously very similar to all the ramp builds everybody was playing when Corvus Glaive first came out. You have 3 ramp options, so basically 90% chance to ramp into something. And yeah, it's a really cool deck. The card Sandman
Yeah.
has crazy synergy with Red Hulk because now they can only play 1 card at a time, and they probably don't have. They're probably not. You're probably not playing a ramp mirror unless you're playing a ramp card mirror or something like that. Like they're not playing on curve 1 card at a time. So you're basically guaranteeing that your Red Hulk is getting pumped the second your Sandman hits the deck. So that's pretty sick part of the deck. And also, obviously they're playing 1 card at a time. So cards like Doctor Doom, Odin, Magneto, bunching all their shit into one location can pay dividends in a deck like this.
Yeah, and then this is another deck I want to try too. As you can see, my poor Corvus Glaive only has a blue border. I haven't got too much use out of this guy.
Mine's green. I do have more boosters though, but yeah, I've left them at green so far.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
mine only has enough boosters for blue. I didn't really play
Yeah.
too much of him, but this looks like a kind of fun deck. I haven't played Sandman, and man, I don't remember the last time I played Sandman.
Mhm.
It's been a hot minute for me.
Corvus
So
is nutty. Corvus is like one of the nuttiest cards in this deck. He's the strongest ramp option in my opinion.
yeah, yeah,
Obviously, unless he hits Hela, then he's not. But
yeah,
even when he does hit Hela, it's not bad. It's still 3/5 permanent 1 power, whereas a card like Electro is 3/2 permanent 1 power, but it Sandmans you. So
yeah.
Corvus is like it's just a sick card. Like it's a sick ramp card.
Yeah, it's really cool, and like especially now that Angela got buffed too, there's gonna be a lot of like little scalers and stuff like that, like those kind of decks where they're gonna want to be playing more than 1 card every turn.
Yeah,
This is like easy snap condition if you ramp into Sandman.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool because then they're not gonna be able to deal with Red Hulk, Hela, Doctor Doom, Odin. There's just no way
yeah.
those decks can keep up 1 card at a time with these
Playing a
big
Kitty
big
Pride.
threats.
Yeah, just playing Kitty
Yeah,
Pride. Yeah.
there's no they can pump up the Angel as much as they want, but like Big Daddy Red Hulk's coming down. There's nothing you can do. So this again, like I haven't played Ramp too much, but I haven't played in a minute, but I'm excited to play this deck too. See how it does.
Yeah, and there's one more deck I wanted to go over, and that's just brewed it in the last hour before the pod, but I played a few games with it with old Angela, with old shitty Angela, because I just wanted to see the curve, see how it feels, and I don't care. I mean, we're playing bots and shit, so like who cares, right? Like just have fun, play stupid shitty old Angela. But now we got new Angela, so Shuri Kitty. So I mean, shout out to Tucker, right? I mean, Tucker, inspired the Pixie Evo stuff, and I know he's playing some Shuri Kitty right now. With the new Red Hulk, that's how he decided to attack the Red Hulk card. So this one's Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Angela, Forge, Armor, Elsa Bloodstone, Hope Summers, Shuri, Taskmaster, Vision, Red Skull, and Red Hulk. So this deck is just gonna be just abusing the new Angela or the old Angela, however you want to look at it. Kitty Pryde, you get the Elsa buffs. If you have Hope, Elsa, and Angela in a lane, you're just spamming Kitty as the last card. But if that's not a Kitty, you play a Nightcrawler. And I guess I forgot. Did I forget to put Jeff in here? I guess I just don't have Jeff in here, but I guess that's fine. Could probably cut Vision maybe for Jeff because I just forgot to put him in. But Armor I think is like really important in this deck. So I definitely think you need him. And then yeah, you have things like Hope into Shuri, into Red Hulk, into Taskmaster. Like that's a thing you can do, obviously. And yeah, and then Forge is for the kitty. So
yeah, Forge could probably be cut for Jeff, honestly.
Yeah, you definitely don't need the Forge. It's the old Shuri kitties back in the day. We were playing it with like 3/5 Hulkbuster, to really pump the kitty.
Yeah,
it's like +5 on it, but yeah, you can't really do that reliably these days. So that's why I had Forge. But yeah, you could probably cut him for a Jeff.
I think Jeff's probably better because then you could play him in the Hope lane, right, or Angela lane, either one, and then he could move out as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the extra 2 power on Kitty is even worth having Forge over Jeff in the deck.
I just switched him out on my screen here, so that's side, but yeah.
Nice. But yeah, so Jeff, this is a fun deck. This looks like how's Red Skull doing?
I mean, he's great. I mean, he's just Shuri Red Skull task, man. It's just if I have it in an armor lane, it feels really good.
Yeah.
Like if I have armor down. If I don't have armor down, I don't feel great about it. You're putting a 28 power Red Skull on the board naked, like you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. I wonder if there's like Arrow's better or something like that.
Well, you could always just play the Vision, right? Like that's kind of.
No, I'm saying instead of Red Skull.
Yeah, I mean, you could try. I personally like the Red Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Red Skull guy. But I've always liked.
I know you are. You love Red Skull.
Yeah, I just like the card. I think he's cool. I don't know. Yeah. I got him inked, so I like him.
Oh, okay, you got inked. All right, I see. That makes sense.
I got Chibi variant inked on Red Skull.
That's great. Oh, the Chibi's got a big head. It's great.
Yeah, the big head one, exactly.
I love it. Yeah, no, this looks like a cool deck. Yeah, Angela. There's gonna be so many different things that we see with Angela. Even like I think Bounce is gonna make a comeback too a little bit. Because you could always like beast the Angela back, put in a different lane as well.
100%. I think
you can only do it once, right? But still, I think that'll be cool to see. Yeah, Shadow King will come back. Maybe even throw Shadow King in here or something. But I don't know. It's great. I love it. Yeah, and then Thanos will be hopefully taking a peg down, it seems. And I'm pretty excited for the meta. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be chaotic. I think the only thing we probably know is going to be a lot of Red Hulk. But, I mean, the nice thing with Red Hulk, at least, that we are going into a Red Hulk meta is you could kind of just put him in anything. So, it still might be just a wide open meta, but just have the Red Hulk as the 6th slot.
Yeah, just everyone can Red Hulk. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You can also too, like you can Shadow King the Red Hulk too, for people who don't know. It's not an ongoing ability. So he can be Shadow King back to a 6/11. Just if you don't use all your mana on the turn that you Shadow King him, he'll still gain the +4. Obviously you can Shang-Chi him, but yeah, he goes in every single like what deck doesn't he go in? Phoenix Force? Like I might just go ask Jet. Can we just throw Red Hulk in this deck? Like, is it just better than Human Torch? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Just 620. But no.
Well, it'd be a good turn 6 play because, like, but you already have Taskmaster in the deck, right? And, like, if you have Phoenix Force out already, like, you move him somewhere and then you just play Red Hulk somewhere else. Like, I don't know. That's kind of good.
Could be. But you want to Doctor Strange and, like, abuse everything, too, though, on turn 6. Yeah. You really want to abuse the Phoenix Force. But yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It's not good in that deck. But yeah, I mean, like every other deck, the card you just throw them in. You throw them in any deck. There's like no reason not to. Any deck where you have the Infinite currently, get rid of the Infinite and put Red Hulk because it's just better than the Infinite. Even War Machine decks. Like Black Knight decks. He's probably sick in Black Knight decks. He's better than the Infinite. He's just better than the Infinite.
He's an awesome fit in Black Knight. I mean, if you were playing like Giganto or something, like for sure, like just Red Hulk, man.
Yeah, or just both, or put him in.
Like so power crept right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Put him instead of Giganto. Yeah. Well, any deck that has Giganto, immediately remove Giganto and put Red Hulk.
Yeah.
And don't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It should be fun. Yeah. What? Anything else you got to say to the people? Yeah, that's pretty much it, huh?
I mean, that's all. Sorry to the people for saying the word Red Hulk 40 times on the pod. I mean, we're just kind of coming in, playing off the last couple days, and that's what we see out there. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. But hey, it's pretty fun. It could be a wide open meta, like multiple different decks you could play. Awesome OTA. and still a great time. You know, the infinite run up to infinite is always fun. So go out there, crush some bots, have some fun, and mess around with some mill or some bullshit. Have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time, and as much times as we said Red helped this podcast, you're gonna see him more in the next week until he gets nerfed.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's it. Peace.